Well, good morning and welcome to Wake Up in the Word. Thank you for joining me today. We're making a new video to cover one that I really messed up. Must not had the coffee on high test because I stuck my microphone cord into the headphone jack. And so I completed a video in which I was doing a lot of talking and there was no sound. But thank you for joining me as we're going to go back and do Psalm 85. Psalm 85. I would like to subtitle Revive Us Again. This is a psalm that is literally about revival. In one of my early evangelism classes at Emmanuel Baptist College, of all places, we had one particular assignment where you had to take this particular psalm in light of what we knew about revival and spiritual awakening and do a report on it. And it's been a part of my heart and my ministry ever since to see how this particular psalm cries out to God in a need for revival, perhaps in that day. In the Old Testament, there were many times of revival. One of my favorites is the revival under Josiah. And of all those times, perhaps this one was set just before a time in which there needed to be revival, but it was probably before Nehemiah's revival. And with that in mind, I want to read Psalm 85 for us and then let us pull it all the way to today and see if we can't pray for our own nation. Because in these troubled times where there is so much going on, there is so much despair, distrust, there is so much wickedness, there is so much in the way of even international intrigue, and to say there are problems is the understatement of the world. That the world seems to, from time to time, be tottering on the brink of war. Do we not need our God to step in and revive us again? With that thought, let's begin reading. You showed favor to your land, O Lord. In this case, Lord is Yahweh or Jehovah in the Hebrew. You showed favor to your land, O Lord. You restored the fortunes of Jacob. You forgave the iniquity of your people and covered all their sins. You set aside all your wrath and turned from your fierce anger. Restore us again, O God, our Savior, and put away your displeasure toward us. Will you be angry with us forever? Will you prolong your anger through all generations? Will you not revive us again, that your people may rejoice in you? Show us your unfailing love, O Lord, and grant us your salvation. I will listen to what God the Lord will say. He promises peace to his people, his saints, but let them not return to folly. Surely his salvation is near those who fear him, and that his glory may dwell in our land. Love and faithfulness meet together. Righteousness and peace kiss each other. Faithfulness springs forth from the earth, and righteousness looks down from heaven. The Lord will indeed give what is good, and our land will yield its harvest. Righteousness goes before him and prepares the way for his steps. Don't we just long for the times of God's awakening and moving in our midst? A handful of times in my life, I've been privileged to be in a group of people in a church in a position where we experienced revival. I long for those times once again. How about you? Could we join together and pray that these might actually take place? You know, as you listen to the words of that song, this psalm rather, you can almost hear the words of songs that had been sung that call on the Lord and call us to revival. Many times we have sung those before, and I'm reminded of a couple of those even today. One was written by Steve Camp and Carmen. It was a little chorus that just said, "Revive us, O Lord." Not many words to it. It just said, "Revive us, O Lord, revive us, O Lord, and cleanse us from our impurities and make us holy. Hear our cry and revive us, O Lord." A very simple cry, a very simple prayer that goes along with Psalm 85. I think it's very appropriate for us, don't you? Let's call on him. Let's begin to join our hearts and hands across the states, across the continents, across the countries of the earth, and cry out to God for revival in these days. Perhaps he will once again hear and bring a movement, a spiritual awakening in his world, as he's doing in some parts of it now, but one that will cover the earth and help us to get through the times ahead. God bless you. Thank you for joining me. Let's do this again tomorrow, right here on Wake Up in the Word.